You don't have a good Zoom setup? You don't have a webcam? Gotta get on that webcam shit, my dude. That's where all the cam girls are. They come with one. That's how you meet them. Yeah. They need to know. Well, they need to know that you can provide for them. They need to know that they can. They need to know that they can do their work out of the home, and the only way you can do that is you need that C922 from Logitech.
Yeah.
because either they're going to be like doing their work or doing their play with playing Fortnite or Apex Legends, whatever the fuck, you know.
Yeah. All things that I love so much.
All things you love. Your partner taking up all your bandwidth and using your computer.
Yeah. Yeah, because they won't buy their own even though they get so many tips.
Because they're saving up to buy a house. They're contributing a lot every month to their 401k because they started saving late. I mean, this person has a lot going on. The fact that they're working on cams is sort of an afterthought of their real dream, which is financial independence, retire early.
Yeah, it's
FIRE,
not,
as we call it.
in this like example, it's not about the journey, it's about the destination.
Definitely about the destination.
Yeah.
Yes. My destination is Jamaica once they save up enough for the year. So.
Yeah.
And this whole COVID thing goes away, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah. That's
if you listen to the right YouTube channels, it's been gone for 6 months and all the birds are recharged, so we're good.
the birds are recharged?
You didn't hear that shit?
No.
They said COVID was a huge scam to get people to stay in their houses while the government could go out and change the batteries and all the birds. Cause birds aren't real.
It's that one that's like the birds.
That
are
old
computers.
wives' tale.
Yeah, yeah.
That old one.
Yeah, that old one where all the birds are literally robot cameras.
It's like, what was 2020 like? Come, young one, and let me tell you the story of the drone crow.
The drone crow. The dro, if you will.
See, portmanteau is always good.
It's always, yeah, that's a staple of you and I talking to each other.
Yeah, for sure. Just every Thursday. I like to think of it as a shortcut to jokes.
Yeah.
You take two words and make them one word.
Dude, I remember in 8th grade geometry class, and they would give us a worksheet, and it was portmanteau, and I was like, this is math? And my teacher was like, you just wait and see.
Hang on, and also stand on your desk. It's one of those days.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wait, okay, before we go any further, are you recording and stuff?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, so we're good. I just did like a snap on my end. I don't care if this is in there or not, but cool.
Oh, I can clap really loud and see if it comes through on yours. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, here, I'm going to put you on speaker really quick and then do that.
Okay.
And then I'll just leave this in there, because who cares? All right, wait, one more time. All right, that should be something. I'll be able to figure it out.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Well, everyone, after that preamble, welcome to the Epic Tiki podcast. I'm Luke Soin, and my guest is comedian, video game playing son of a gun, JoJo Lewis.
Hello.
Of JoJo Has Fun.
Of JoJo Has Fun.
Yeah.
Yes. The JoJo Has Fun comedy empire.
Yeah.
Of just pretty much just me and Jeff and Danielle and Kim in Alabama.
Yeah. I know, it's the best name to like the person who seems to Twitch stream the most is Jeff, but it's under JoJo Has Fun.
It's I'm kind of it's kind of weird, right? Like I didn't think that through cuz back then I didn't think it was going to be more than just me. And I was like it's just going to be me. I don't need to care about other people. And then now I got the branding is really weird because they interact and see me the least, but my name is on all this shit.
Yeah, you're like Walt Disney.
Wild.
It's like you got all these Disney princesses out there. Where's Walt?
He's setting up DreamWorks, and he's setting up he's setting up Mickey's house.
I didn't know he did DreamWorks. That's new.
He's inviting Guy Fieri over.
Oh yeah.
To build the chicken restaurant and the one in Florida.
Yeah, they have all
That's
those.
how he operates. Yeah. No, that was not forward thinking on my part.
Oh yeah.
Although to be fair, at this point, I don't know what we could rename it to, because any channel that's something gaming makes me upset. I'm like, that you didn't even try.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like if I was to just be like, oh, you have a new YouTube channel, it's called Epic Tiki Gaming.
So if you throw gaming in there, like there's one channel I actually really like, and it's a dude who does a lot of tutorials on streaming, and he explains a lot about, like, here's how to pick out technology, here's how to make your stream better, here's how to pick out stuff to make your YouTube videos better. Just really good tips. And his channel is called Alpha Gaming, and I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this dude picked the name for this channel in an afternoon. He gave no thought to it. He called it Alpha Gaming. He's like, this'll work, fuck it. And now he's like, I think he's canceling it and making a new channel that has like something that matches like a thing he's interested in. It's really interesting.
It's like when it's almost like he was just like, yeah, you know how there's A1 plumbing? This is A1 gaming. I just want to be at the top of the phone book.
Let me just check. I'm actually, you know what? I'm just going to do a quick YouTube search to see if I can find A1 Gaming.
Okay.
Just to see. I just want to see what they're up to. A1 Gaming. Oh, yep, there it is. League of Legends. And they seem to be from Ukraine, so that's also nice.
Oh, well, there you go. English isn't his first language, so he was just like, what is cool word? Alpha. Okay. And then...
Oh, wait, no, there's a couple of A1 Gamings. Oh, dang.
He's like, I will be Alpha Gaming after my favorite comic book, Alpha Flight.
That's their Wow, there's like 5 different channels with A1 Gaming. That is buck wild. Okay. I can't look at this anymore. I'm going to fall down a YouTube hole.
I didn't know. I know, YouTube holes are the worst.
Yep.
I mean, I've yet to meet a girlfriend with a butthole like a YouTube hole, you know?
Well, you just get caught up in it, then no one complains.
Yeah. I mean, I've been caught up in a butthole before, but...
You've learned, yeah, but then you don't learn,
No.
cross-stitch by the end or fucking whatever the shit.
Yeah. You don't learn about the robot birds by the end of it.
You don't learn about the robot birds. You don't learn how... I don't know, whatever. I thought I had a joke there at the end, and my brain was like, nah, you don't. Just move on.
That's okay, That's why it's a pod. No one's going to listen. Do you remember how you did it like a year ago? It's not like we got more subscribers. I
do remember doing it a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was right at the start of the troubles, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, was it after like it came out kind of, or was it before it like
Yeah,
hit?
The single had just dropped.
Okay.
And like we all knew it was hot, but like it hadn't hit mainstream yet.
Right.
But lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, like everyone was talking about it. Everyone, you couldn't stop hearing about this COVID thing, and it was great.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not even joking either. It was literally like 2 weeks later.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it was also, it was weird because I remember like going to Stab for some kind of live stream that they were doing, and just they were like no more than 10 people in a room, so we were just all kind of apart, but none of us had masks yet, so we were just all like in the room together. Like nothing we were doing made sense in terms of the rules that they set down or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, well now this seems to be pretty serious. We got to get them birds recharged.
Yeah. We have to reinstall the chemtrails that are actually affixed to the firmament. There is no space. It's just the ceiling. Have you seen The Truman Show?
Those fucking guys are so fucking dumb. Makes me upset.
I know.
Yeah, it was literally. I think it was like 2 weeks later. Then like everything shut down, and then it's just been living that tele life.
Yeah,
living that second life. Which as an introvert, it really doesn't affect me that much.
I know. I was gonna say like your life didn't really change because you weren't even really doing comedy anymore. You were like comedians just there because you did it so much. But
I wasn't going out and doing stand up. No. So it didn't affect me that much. I was just doing YouTube stuff. I am still doing podcast stuff, so it's kind of just like, yeah, I mean, I'm home all the time, but truthfully speaking, that's kind of where I want to be. Like,
You don't really like stand-up anymore, or?
No, stand-up's fine. It's more just like, it's kind of like what's the way to think about it? For me, it's a lot about like, what's the effort? It's like an effort versus reward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
So
can put a
like,
lot of work into stand up, and
you can put a ton of work. You can put a ton of work into it, and you get very little back. You can put a ton of.
Are you talking about driving to San Francisco every 2 weeks? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking just generally. I'm not just talking about that. That was fucking rough, and I sometimes forget that was a huge part of my life for multiple years.
Dude, yeah, we spent hours together in a car.
That shit's fucked. But no, it's more just, well, also just like just that idea. Like, I have to physically go somewhere.
Yeah.
To do this thing. Yes, that's true. That to me is like, okay, if this were, say, like, the 70s, that's a decade I've heard about.
Yeah.
It's 50 years past. That makes perfect sense. And also, it's like, what the fuck else are you going to do? I mean, Nintendo doesn't come out for another 10 years, you fuck. Get out there. Hit the stage.
There's no Reddit.
There's no Reddit, yeah. But now it's like, I could... It's like, what is the tangible benefit of doing that? Comfort of being on stage, for one. Well, I have that. The ability to kind of think. I have that as well. Like, think on my feet. I can do that as well. So what am I really getting out of it? It's hard to know. It's hard to know, like, what's the benefit here. It's like, there is a tangible enjoyment of being on stage under lights in front of people. I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many times do I need to get that hit a week or a month? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, then, bro, you're not a real comic. You know, you ain't.
Yeah, that's what. You know what? That's right. You know what? That's the That's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing that people do in not just comedy, in any art form.
Yeah.
Where they say, you are not a real whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it at this way.
I do feel that.
Suck a dick. Like, fuck off.
I mean, I think the thing about stand-up is, if you do want to do that, I mean, maybe this isn't true for you, but for most people, you have to do it a lot. Whether you're addicted to it and have, like, a, whatever problem where you have to do it, or just for practice and being good at it. Like, that's the only thing. It's like one of the only art forms that you can only get better at by doing it, and you need the audience. Like, you could record.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
You can record into a camera and put it out and be like, look, here's some funny thoughts, but there's something, like, an integral part of it is standing on a stage in front of people. Whether that's a loose collection of degenerates On the Y or a packed crowd of bringers at the Punchline on a Wednesday,
the two poles of possibility.
Hey, that's the top of it in Sacramento, man. That's all there is.
That's it. That's all there is.
Yeah.
In these COVID-filled streets, that's all we got.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. Like, there is definitely that. Like, there is something special about that exchange. Don't have to argue with on that one.
But if you don't need that, then
yeah, it's kind of just like, okay, yes, that's wonderful and it's a wonderful feeling, but to what end? That's my question. Like, to what end?
Well,
if for me, it's like, is it good enough that the end is just doing it? For a couple years, sure. Like, yeah. For a couple of years, sure, the end is enough. Or just doing it is an end unto itself. But then it's just like, well, in terms of, am I still growing by doing this? That's harder to say, That's harder to quantify.
Yeah.
How much fucking bullshit can I do in 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
I get it.
How much shit can I talk? How much fucking around can I really do?
Yeah.
In 5 minutes. That's sort of, and also just like that soft reset every time. You know what I mean? Like, even if I may have been onto something 2 days earlier, might not be onto that today. I might not be able to recapture whatever I did 2 days previous. It's a whole fucking, it's a weird thing. I've thought a lot about it. Just like what, like the how, like, as an art form, like, stand up, you can really only practice it in front of people.
Yeah.
That's true. But the ability to practice it in front of people, like, that's almost like a privilege for being able to figure out other shit. which I had no interest in.
What? Wait, what do you mean figure out other shit?
Like just like what we would say is like the more businessy side of it. I had no interest in trying to figure that shit out.
Right, yeah, because that stuff would get you to the next level of like doing 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and what's fucked up is it's like, and I think I realized this like a couple years in, which is basically like it actually almost doesn't matter whether or not you are funny or not. The only time it really is of consequence is if you are the funniest. If you're not the funniest, then you have to make it up with other shit. Which from my perspective is me saying that, even I'm like, that's a little cynical, and that's true.
It's very cynical, but
as I'm saying it. But the thing was that like, okay, well, the real idea is like, you know, what sounds gross is when you call it networking. It's not really networking. It's like you make friends with people. Like you're doing something together, you make good friends with people.
Yeah.
And then those friends enable you to do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think there's different levels too. It's like there's some people like, I mean, we're friends. We don't really hang out ever, but I'm going to blame you. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, we're friends, but we aren't friends because we're trying to get stuff out of each other.
No.
But there are people that I've gotten closer to.
People like that. Yeah.
There's definitely people in the circle of comedy where I'm friendly with them or talk to them because I do want something from them or because I need to in order to get to the next thing. Yeah. So that part does suck. It's not like the best.
That to me was sort of just like I just found that to be just distasteful, you know. And it was like, you know, what's the what do I earn out of that? Like, I put in that work, what do I earn out of that? Well, and yeah, I could get something. I could get, like, you know, open for somebody or some shit like that, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and then I would say this, like, you aren't as jazzed by stand-up as other people. Like, I still love it, and I actually miss it a lot. And I've been writing, and I have new bits, and like, I've been thinking about going to the Chico open mic just to like get a hit.
Hey, you know? Man, you know, St. Peter will be cool with whatever reason you have to say as to why you got there.
Look, I mean, I wear a mask, you know, like I've done shows. It's like,
I get you. I'm fucking around. Obviously.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
St. Peter will be like, Luke, you're named after my best friend, and then I'll be good. You know, I'm not worried about it.
Hell yeah, I am. You know, what you got to do is you roll up, and he's like, sewing, and then you're like, oh, Pete, I didn't know you worked here. And he's like, what? And he's like, Luke, I should be on the list. He's like,
and I am so in, and then I'll be like, hey, that's the only time. Actually, my middle name is
like that.
My middle name is Peter, so I forgot, but I'm good. That's not even a joke. It's really my middle name.
No, I believe you. I'm just thinking of how bullshit it would be. You just roll up at the gates, just trying to bullshit your way in like a club. It's just like, I'd love to let you in, but man, what you are wearing is not chill, my dude. Like, you're in these army fatigues. What the hell were you doing? Peacefully protesting in the Capitol as well.
Yeah. I will. Like, I just wanted to spin around in Nancy Pelosi's chair once, okay?
Just once.
Just one time. They took a picture. I didn't even know the picture was going to get taken. Now they've taken more pictures in a jail cell. Why? Yeah.
I mean, and like my thinking is like, if you just love doing it, fucking go for it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if that satisfies you, then perfect. That satisfies you.
Yeah. Well, I could say like, sorry. I just want to say, so I mean like you're doing the Twitch, YouTube, Let's Play video game streaming thing, and that's that's fun to me, but also I don't get like
that's not that thing that you love the most.
No, the only reason I want to do that is to justify playing video games as like a business expense, or like, you know, because if I stream, if I put it out as content, then it's like work technically, even though I'm just wanting to play Cyberpunk or or finish.
That's you
Doom.
networking with your friend video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I logged a 2-hour business call with my Xbox. Got a lot of pips on the old productivity tracker with that one.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, everything is, it's like this weird, what's cynical to me is that everything has to be content now, and that like, I feel it's like hard to balance just feeling like it's okay. Like you can just make some stuff and then the rest of the time you can hang out and read a book. You don't need to be on your phone all the time and answering and messaging and going on. Like I have this, I'm about to move like next week.
Yeah.
Into a house, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to try to set it up in a way where I can work and be productive. And I really want to make an effort to like take breaks from my phone for several hours at a time.
Yeah.
Because it's just bad. It's like I wake up, I look at it, I check like 5 apps, then I go make breakfast, I'm holding my phone looking at it. I get this screen report thing every Sunday morning. It's like, you use the screen for 9 hours, and that's not a made-up figure. That's an unfortunate...
I believe that. Yeah, well, I do that too. Well, actually, that's not true. Like, I've kind of like... I'm always facing screens just because I work and on a computer, and like that's how I opt to spend my time. Like when I relax, like I play games and shit. But like
yeah,
I don't associate my phone with like being social or interacting with people. It's literally just like I need to know, like I'll check like news. Like I'll look at the news. I look at the news like once a day now. I didn't do that until certain events. But I've been looking at the news every day.
Now you have to know if you need to like
now I gotta
know.
Yeah, now I need to know if I gotta hide.
Yeah.
I do that.
Learn how to use a gun within 30 minutes and then acquire one.
Yeah, well, I could print one out if I had a 3D printer, but no, I use my phone honestly just like I listen to podcasts on it. I watch YouTube videos on it.
Yeah.
I look at porn on it because I don't want to dirty my beautiful, nice computer with that garbage.
I've had that thought about my editing computer. Like I don't use it
like,
for.
Oh, I can't pull up RedTube on here. It'll know. It sees me when I'm working.
Yeah, I have an old laptop and I dubbed it Jack Off Computer.
Yeah.
Because it's the old one. I'm not gonna give it to anyone. It's just It's
meant to be ridden hard and put away wet.
Yeah.
Which is not a good way to store electronics, Lucas. I'm telling you, it's gonna short out.
No, but it's a MacBook, so it's very resilient.
Oh, for sure. It's that aluminum body. It resists stains.
It's from 2013, man. It's like 7-year-old computer.
It's all it's good for at this point.
Yeah. No.
You and your MacBook have a strictly physical relationship.
Yeah. I need to put that duct tape back over the camera, though.
Hell yeah!
It's recording me just like the worst faces.
It's like, I mean, I guess the CIA wants to see this. I don't know why, but
dude, if you know what I hope they do at the CIA? I hope they have like an algorithm, and then on like Fridays, like they have Casual Friday, and then everyone goes into like this big room, and this is like pre and post COVID, right?
Let's look at the highlights.
Exactly. But it's like Lemon Party, so they just go, what are we going to get today? And it's just like a random stream of anyone at that moment jacking off,
Oh, nice, yeah.
And it's like, and then if they get a woman, they all get like a free day off because it's like, it's always a dude,
It's like chat roulette, but like the purest, most uncut form.
Yeah. And every once in a while, they catch a criminal because they find like someone chained up in the background or something.
You miss all the shots you don't take, is what I say.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, like other than that, like my phone, like I've uninstalled Facebook. Like the only time I use Facebook is like for the Messenger.
Yeah.
Which was like, which is just because all of my people I know are on Facebook Messenger. Like if y'all would move over to Slack, I could get rid of Facebook Messenger and be fine.
Yeah, Slack or Discord.
Yeah. Fucking like and that's it. Like I use Twitter, but I just lurk on Twitter, and the most I do with Twitter is I follow artists and I follow like lewd content creators, and that's it.
Do do you even use do you have your own Twitter? Because you have a JoJo Has Fun Twitter, but
I do have my own Twitter. I don't ever tweet on it.
Okay, because Jeff is usually the one on the actual.
Yeah, Jeff does the actual Twitter, and he actually he's better at Twitter than I am, and it's like
he's always had good Twitter jokes.
Yeah, and he's done nothing if not increase that ability in the 3 years I've been having him run it.
Yeah.
Maybe more now. I actually lose track of time in this broken age. Where time is a flat circle; it never ends.
Yeah.
But but yeah, other than that, I just don't, and I feel like it's actually made life a little better that I don't, because I still there are these times when I'm like, I'll load up Facebook on my phone, or not my phone, but for my computer, for this, I think you messaged me. I feel like I want to say you messaged me or I messaged you on Facebook or something like that, and I looked on my computer because I had Chrome open and it just notified me, and within 30 seconds, I accidentally made the mistake of looking at the feed, and I scrolled through for 10 seconds, and I immediately got upset, and I was like, I can't look at this.
Yeah.
I cannot look at this. And I closed it out. I've never been in a situation, and I've said this a couple of times, I've never been in a situation where I was like, thank God I'm on Facebook right now. I've never said that, and I'm like, then that's a good reason to not have it.
Yeah. No, the only reason I have it is for comedy. It literally, it's
you networking with your uncool friend Facebook to try to get shows.
Yeah. No, because it's like 70 to 90, it's 90% of where I get bookings, because, and I mean right now there's nothing, but that's how I find out about open mics. That's how, I see a show that's going on, I message somebody on Facebook, but you're right, as soon as you log in and you scroll for a minute, one, you lose track of why you went on there in the first place, and two, you just get angry because someone said something stupid, or there's an opinion you don't agree with, which is the same thing, or
it's an opinion you didn't even know you didn't agree with, and now it's in front of you, and you're like, well, I have to do something, and then the Zen way is you don't. Just shut your phone.
Yeah.
Go just hey, my dude, here's a YouPorn link. Just go here. It's it is just a physical bacchanal on there. You can have so much fun in there, and everyone's super chilled out in the comments. It's great.
Have you ever thought about how YouPorn and RedTube, they have links to share on Twitter and Facebook and stuff?
I've thought about that many times. I'm like, who the fuck is using this, and why aren't I friends with this person? Because you got to understand, the person who shares porn, if they're not doing it, just think about this. If your sister's husband shared you a porn link, you'd be like, this guy's a lawyer, but he's sending me this. It's got to be good, right?
Wait, did you remember that he's a lawyer, or did you just pull that out of your ass?
No, I absolutely remembered he was a lawyer.
All right. Well, he's not her husband yet, but you are right about the lawyer part. That's very good.
Yeah. It's I normally wouldn't check this link, but I trust this person, and they're risking their whole life to tell me about it.
You know what? Yeah, they're risking their entire reputation. But you know what's messed up about if it's your sister's husband, then you're seeing what he's into, and then it might accidentally be someone that looks like your sister. But then also,
you're like, that's sweet, I guess.
Actually, it probably wouldn't be though, because he would be bored, or he would want something different.
Yeah, you covet the other side of the fence.
Exactly.
As the kids say, I guess.
You look for that greener grass, and if there's grass, you play. That's what they say.
That's terrible. I hate that. That makes me upset.
I know. Sorry, I just Facebook posted you. My bad.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't feel like there was a lead to another thing from that line of conversation.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Well, I do love stand-up. I don't know. Yeah, and then it's funny because this is a thread I had earlier. You don't interact with any other comedians really, right? Besides Emma Haney.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, because I saw Kyrie a couple times last year, at Laughs or at they had an open mic at the park that Miriam was running that was actually really great.
I remember seeing a lot of posts about that. It looked chill.
Yeah, it was very fun. And Kyrie's the only person I see who will bring up JoJo. Like he'll just be like, I mean, it's like you and JoJo, you know, and I'm like, I haven't seen him in like 2 years. Like,
yeah.
but that's Kyrie's like reference point because he's like off in New York and LA doing cool shit.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. I mean, like you never stop being like an impact. That's a weird thing, right? Like you never stop having had an impact in someone's life.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, like that never really goes away. I mean, if they get hit in the head hard enough, but like, yeah, like I think about shit like that all the time. I remember, what was it? There was like, I remember there was like oh fuck, I had this thought. Like I remember me and Kyrie, like we had like this really fun like conversation because like just randomly, I was in SF and so was he. And like he needed to ride back, because just like I think it was like he didn't want to wait for the bus or some shit, and I was like, yeah, for sure, dog, don't even worry about it. And we drove back and we just had this really chill conversation.
Yeah,
and I still think about that. Like that was a thing that happened where I had a conversation with Kyrie like for 2.5 hours, just like drive. Well, it was. I mean, I sped. I say 2.5 hours because that's a good reference point for like a chunk of time. But it was more like an hour and a half because I was speeding.
Yeah. So it wasn't a Marvel film. It was a 90-minute comedy from 2001.
It was a solid 90-minute boom, 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 3-act structure conversation.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, that was really fun and cool. Like it was just like, oh yeah, that was a thing that happened, and it was like. I still think about like that was a fun. I don't remember what we talked about, but it must have been comedy and it must have been chill.
Yeah,
I wasn't upset afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great.
I remember one time I was driving with a buddy. We had a show in Nevada, and we had to drive back, and we didn't have to drive back. We could have spent the night, but it was like 11, and it only took us like 5 hours to get there, and we were like, I mean, we could jam back, be back by 3. And I don't have to work tomorrow, and neither do you. So that's not the worst. I don't want to stay here. We were like, okay. And we drove back, and then like.
What was the staying situation? Was it like someone's couch?
They had a room for us, but it was basically like it was this like little trashy hotel like on the border.
Oh, okay. That was 5 hours away.
It was Well, I might be embellishing.
Okay.
It wasn't super far away, but like when we got there, we were kind of just like. Oh man, I don't really want to be around here in the morning. And so we drove back, and then the drive back, I remember we were trying to find a McDonald's, and we accidentally ran a stop sign. and then we got pulled over, and the person I was with didn't have a license. And
was he driving?
Like, yeah, and because it was his car.
Oh shit.
And I remember like that was the first time I'd ever been in a car with someone when they got pulled over, and I knew for sure, like, well, I'm not in trouble, so this is going to be fun for me.
Oh, man.
And it was pretty wild, too, because, like, if I hadn't been there, he would have had to spend the night in jail.
Is that why you didn't want to name who it was when you started the story?
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, man, I want to know who it is, though. Is this someone I know?
I could tell you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like, afterwards, like I drove us back, and then, like, I still think about like that was a thing that happened in my life that was an influence on me, and that I was there was definitely an influence on him.
Yeah, 100%.
That like that's the kind of thing like I still remember that kind of shit.
Well, that's the cool thing about comedy is you just get into such weird. You go to weird places you would never have gone. You see weird things. You have weird experiences. It's great. Like I love it because I just like that weird. Like, especially if you go on your own, you have this, like, weird, lonely trip you do. You're on the freeway late at night. You're, like, listening to some podcast. You're, like, tired or you hate yourself because you bombed and you drove, like, 2 hours for, like, a 5-minute set. And you're just...
Yeah, stand-up is good at making, like, and I think this is true. I mean, like, stand-up kind of forces this by definition of kind of how it works. Like if you want to do stand-up, you have to do this other thing. It's really good at making you like participate. You have to be a participant in life in order to do this. Just at the very least, like you have to physically get up and go somewhere that maybe you've never been to before and interact with people that otherwise you never would. That's not unique to stand-up, but stand-up definitely forces you to do that.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of that, just to be a part of the, and also like by virtue of doing that, you discover like there's a community that does this, and there's other people who do this, and like just the by virtue of the fact that like I participated in some life, I now have a thing I can talk about, and like there was an impact on someone's life and on their life on mine, and it's like, oh, that's part of the story of who I am is sort of only what it is because it's like I participated, and stand-up is a huge part of that.
It's almost like a good video game because it like forces you out of your comfort, or it forces you to explore like an area. So like, oh, now I'm in San Diego and I would have not come here probably, you know, or I don't know. Whoa, guys. Got to stop the podcast real quick because I can't believe it as much as you can't believe it either. We actually have an honest-to-God sponsor. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. We have a sponsor, and that sponsor is Digital Lizards of Doom, the graphic novel. It's an amazing graphic novel written by Gabriel Valentine, and the art is done by Ernie Nahara. And the only reason, I don't know how to pronounce either of those names properly. I hope I got it right. But you should check this out because it's a lot like Battletoads or Ninja Turtles. It's more like Battletoads because it's set in a sort of a intergalactic space world, and there's anthropomorphic animals and stuff. And it's really cool. So if you would like to purchase this graphic novel, the graphic novel comes out on January 27th. Don't wait. Order it now. Use code EPICTIKI at checkout to get 15% off your order. You can also find it in local comic book shops. That's what they told me, so you should do that. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I'll see you guys. Well, keep listening. We're in the middle. Just keep listening to the podcast. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I wouldn't. No, that's a good point though. Like I probably wouldn't have driven. I probably wouldn't have been to San Francisco so much if it wasn't for stand-up. I don't on my own have like a real interest in going there. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting too is like if I ever like I'm not intimidated by the idea of going there anymore.
Right, because you've done it so much.
I'm not and weirdly enough, like I didn't realize this about myself until I started doing stand-up is like, oh, I was intimidated by going to certain places. Like not even for like safety reasons, just the idea of like, how do I get through this city or how do I navigate talking to this person I've never met before.
I still have that problem with things though.
Yeah. but like by virtue of the fact that like, well, you know, I've done this thing that has forced me to participate. Well, now it's like, it doesn't fucking matter like where I go, what city I go to. It's not scary. It's just like, I'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you know that you've done it before, so experience.
Real talk. Like when I about 2 years ago, well, I guess it would be about a year and a half ago now. For just like randomly, not randomly, it was planned, but like we went to we went to Sweden. We went to Stockholm, Sweden for a week.
Oh, I remember you, talking about that.
And I remember it's totally other side of the world. It was middle of the night, and we went back we had like an Airbnb, and we were just like crashing there, and my girlfriend and I were just like hanging out, and it was literally it may have been like 2 a.m. Like it was really fucking late, and I'm just like, I'm gonna just go to McDonald's because they have a lot of McDonald's there.
Yeah. And
so like I get up by myself and I just go walk through like Stockholm and go to a McDonald's and order food. And I don't speak Swedish, so like that was a fun time to navigate. I mean, everyone over there was super good, and everyone has English as a second language, but it's still pretty buck wild that the idea of like, yeah, I just got up in the middle of the night in a strange country that I've never been to before, and just went and did something that I would do normally.
Was it snowing? Was it all like magical and stuff?
No, it was just gray.
Oh, okay.
It was cold, but no snow.
Oh, okay.
We went north for a while when there was snow up there, but in Stockholm itself, nothing.
Oh, okay.
But it was just like, man, I don't know. I actually had the thought, like, how do I know? How am I confident enough to do this? And it's like, oh yeah, I did stand up for a grip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. It's fine. I've been to new cities where I don't know anybody, and even when they do speak English, I still don't feel like I can talk to anyone. So what fucking difference does it make? I'm gonna go to McDonald's.
If anything, then if they don't know English, then you don't have to talk to them as much. And
that's exactly
less scary.
Exactly. Easy enough. Yeah, and it was fucking chill, and that's how pretty much a majority of the trip was. Or it was just like, just go wherever, not a big deal.
I actually I still want to become a touring comic at some point, even if it's just like feature level, just because I want that experience of like having to go to like St. Louis, and I would never. I honestly I have no reason to go there unless I suddenly decided that I'm gonna go see every baseball park in America, or I want to see every state or every city.
That's a good enough reason. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom and my stepdad are doing that. I mean, they had to pause it, but we got them like a frame to put pictures of themselves in each park. So they have like 10 or 12 of them so far.
Nice.
But I mean, but otherwise, it's like, when would I go to St. Louis? Like, I don't know anyone there. There's nothing that cool there. There's like an arch, I guess, like.
The arch is chill, yeah.
John Hamm is from there, so I guess I could go see where that big dick was born, but I mean...
You can definitely see that. You can see the crater where it landed from Krypton.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I just want that. Like, I like that. It's like killing two birds with one stone, almost. It's like, I'm going to do something I love doing, and I get paid for it, hopefully, and then also I get to go see St. Louis, and maybe after like 2 or 3 times you start getting bored and you've seen the same museum and you don't want to do it again. But I mean, the first couple times is probably cool.
That's a tall order to get bored of the whole world.
Well, I only assume that happens because like when I listen to certain podcasts with comics on them, like Tuesdays with Stories, and I hear like Mark Norman and Joe List just being like, well, I've been to St. Louis 8 times. What am I going to go see the Arch again? And I fucking Google it, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They always sound like they're jaded with going to these places, but they also make the point that, it is fun and it's cool to like do all these things, and they have these experiences that they wouldn't have otherwise. Like, I mean, I've seen more of California than I bet most Californians ever see, because
that's very true.
Because when you drive to Sally Tomatoes, you're going to Sonoma or Napa or whatever, but you have to drive through all these weird streets to get to it. You do like open mics that sometimes there's an open mic that some weird person is doing in like Jackson or some shit, and like why would I go to Jackson?
But then you drive out there and just like there's a whole world I didn't know about, and they are really about guns.
Yeah,
and they have no interest in letting them go anywhere outside of their field of view. That's cool.
But also,
I'm gonna go back to my liberal cuck city. Thank you.
Sometimes you find a really great show or crowd. Like you'll get, like they're just regular people. Like I did. There's a show in Los Banos, and it's like, I don't know if you know where that is, but it's like down Highway 5. It's like right after, when you go down and you go through Turlock and like Modesto and all that, and then you there's like an open part, and then you get to like a hill and you turn left, kind of like the freeway just turns left to go south.
And you go right.
Wait, what? Go right?
And you go and then you go right to get to Los Banos.
I don't know. I mean, you get off, like when you start going left, there's like an exit somewhere over there, and that's where Los Banos is. Yeah. Or Banos, I don't know. Anyways, so you're probably right. But anyways, but it's like, I would have never gone there. And then this show it's like in a brewery that's like in an industrial park, in the middle of nowhere. But the show, the first time I did it, it was like one of the best crowds I've ever been in front of. They were just like so excited for comedy because they have nothing there to do. And they still have the internet and stuff, so they're like not stupid or weird, they just have nothing. So like afterwards, like 2 people walked up to me and were like, "Can I get a selfie?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, man.
I'm no one, but if you want, I could take a picture with you.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's cool, like it's like silly, but so I don't know. And I forget what else I was going to say about that, but yeah, it's great. I like it.
That's the key takeaway.
Yes. Oh, also I was going to say your story about leaving Nevada, so you don't have to be there the next day. I did that, but for San Diego one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Just had to get out of there?
Well, I had been there recently before that, and I don't think it's a big deal to say who it was, but like Evan Nairati, who he started here and then he moved there.
Yeah.
And so like I think he came back since then. I've seen him. I don't know if he's still here right now, but for a while he was like at Stab showing up randomly and stuff.
Yeah.
But he had an apartment and he let me stay there. And so that was cool the first time, but then the second time I went down for like the San Diego Comedy Festival and I was competing, and it was one of those trips where like you go there for one set, which is like, it's pretty stupid to do, but I did it, and I kind of bombed. It wasn't great. And then I was trying to get a hold of him, like his phone, the show was over at like 10:30.
Yeah.
And I'm like texting him and he's not answering, and because he was like at his own open mic or something doing some shit. So like eventually
and you're just like, well, I could either try to find this dude or get like an Airbnb, or I could just fucking
drive home,
hit that dusty trail.
And that's what I did. I just was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, I'll just like drive as far as I can, I'll drink some coffee and then I'll keep going. And like, so then like I'm an hour into the trip and he finally texts me and he's like, hey man, I just got home, are you coming? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna go back home. And he's like, what?
Nah, bud, I'm out.
Yeah.
You missed your chance.
Yeah. I'm not fucking you tonight, sir.
I was gonna go there. I was trying. My brain was trying to put those words in the correct order, but man, oh man.
Yeah, I was gonna make some kind of butt joke, but I was like, nah, just go with the
Fair.
No sex. Anyways, yeah. So then I got to the Grapevine, and that's when I started crashing. Like I got all the way through the Grapevine, and then there's like that really cool. I mean, I don't know if it's cool, but there's like a giant. Right before, if you're on the way to LA, or right after, if you're going home, the Grapevine, there's like this, there's like an outlets, and then there's like every fast food chain you could think of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know where that is. And
yeah.
So like I just stopped at one of the gas stations. I like closed my eyes for 20 minutes, and then I bought a 5-hour energy, and I just powered my way home.
Yeah, and you used, goddamn if you did not use all 5 of those hours.
Oh yeah, I used them, and then I kind of spread them out,
That's the thing about 5-hour energy I've found, is it's like it just tastes so foul that like the idea of sleep becomes impossible. You're like, I have to stay awake and feel the fullness of this experience of drinking something so fucking disgusting so quickly. Why did I do it quickly? I could have sipped on this.
You're just kind of licking your lips like, oh Jesus Christ, man, it's still there. That's actually what keeps you awake. It's that you're confounded that the flavor could last. Because like, why can't they put this in gum? Why can't gum do this?
No, it can't, because it's like gum is not a mystery. This is there's a curiosity that comes with this nightmare.
Yeah.
It's like the train crashed off a mountain. How do you do that? I can't fall asleep now.
Wait, what's that a reference to, or is that just a
Nothing.
random?
That's just me mentioning random shit, like the idea of a train flying over a mountain. And you're like, how would it do that?
Okay. I guess it'd have to be a train track up there.
Would have to be. I mean, you would think.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's probably like the wildest. I mean, that was like just being like, can you I mean, I can't even imagine that I did that sometimes. That I was like,
yeah, for sure.
10 p.m. and I'm just gonna drive to Sacramento from San Diego's farther than LA. It's like another hour and a half to 2 hours. Out of LA, so it's like an 8-hour drive.
Gotta get home though. And you're just like, well, all right then.
I think it was like I got home at like 6 or 7 a.m. and I just passed out for like 5 hours and I was fine, but I don't know. I actually got bored driving. I was like so bored with podcasts that I started streaming Family Guy, and I just had it like I had like a thing on my dashboard for my map, because in that car
yeah. I didn't just had it like, this is TV now.
Yeah, well, and then it was like I was doing Family Guy, so it was like I've seen these a million times, like the first season, Yeah. So I wasn't like staring at it, but I was on the part of the road where there's nothing. It's just like blackness. So I was like, if a deer comes out or a random guy, that's God. That's on God. That's not me.
If a deer rushes out in front of my car, hey, what happens? Me and Seth got all these jokes that I got to get through. So
yeah. I have to sit there and do my Peter Griffin impression after every line.
Absolutely. Fucking A, man.
Yeah. So what do you think about this Indiana Jones game that Bethesda's making?
I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. I'm just excited. I've been waiting for like a actual good... I mean, I hope it's good, but I don't think there's ever been like a great Indiana Jones video game ever.
There was a couple like point and click ones from the 90s that I thought kind of captured the spirit, but yeah, like it's sort of like the Bethesda's making it, and Bethesda doesn't have the best track record right now of making like games that are good.
Yeah.
And it's like,
except for Doom.
Well, Doom is amazing. Doom is its own thing. And,
yeah.
And they kind of stole id to make it, but
totally.
Yeah, but like I mean, and I think it's kind of funny too because I saw the announcement. It was like, I want to say the announcement was like the creators of Doom are making an Indiana Jones game, and I was like, wait a minute, Bethesda made Doom. Why are you trying to wash their hands of Fallout 76, the worst game? Fucking back off.
Well, you're not going to advertise your worst.
You're
quality.
not going to advertise your failures.
No.
You know?
Why would you do that? But I think the studio making it, isn't it the people who made Wolfenstein?
Yeah, that was it. And I think that's cool. I mean, like, I'm sure they'll make something. I'm sure they'll make. I'm wondering what it's gonna be, what they're gonna do.
Yeah, what's annoying. So I saw the little trailer, and then I listened to IGN's Xbox podcast today a little bit, and they started talking about it. And people always do this thing where they go, I just kind of wish it was the Tomb Raider people, and I'm like, no, that's stupid. That's just like putting an Indiana Jones skin on a Tomb Raider game. That's not what we want, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, Tomb Raider, and actually, what's funny too is like the new Tomb Raider series got like bad.
Yeah, so I only played the first one. I never got to the next two.
That's the only one that's worth it.
Not even the second one?
Nope.
Oh, man. It. Well, your standard is like way higher than mine for video games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think I'd probably enjoy them still.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. I mean, like, it's good. Like, it's what I would describe as like a popcorn movie of a game. Like,
oh yeah, I love those. I eat the shit out of that. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
I eat the shit out of that.
Eat the shit out of that game. For sure.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that noise, but yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I just hate that sort of like, and you see it in a lot of places, but that unimaginative like. No, the only person who could do this thing that is like someone who did something just like this thing, and I'm like that's R-worded, you know, like it's like, because like Respawn, they did like Titanfall, right, and then
they made Star Wars.
And Jedi Fallen Order
game rules. That game is really good.
Yeah, and it's a totally different type of game. So like, why does a studio have to only make the one kind of thing that they've made before?
Well, that's true. They don't. But then on the other hand, it's like, but at the same time, it's kind of like the ones who are making it, they've kind of like, you know,
yeah,
they've kind of betrayed our trust a bit in the past, and that's the tough thing. I think that's sort of just like when they say like, I kind of wish the people who made Tomb Raider making it. I get that, because like the most recent Tomb Raiders weren't great, but they weren't god awful nightmares that spawned class action lawsuits. So like there's a bit that there's like a difference of degrees.
But the specific studio that made Fallout 76 is not making.
No, they did not. Definitely not. They're doing their fucking best. They're like, don't mention Fallout. We promised each other we're not going to talk about it. It's
well,
like,
but
okay.
What I'm saying is like the actual people who made 76 are not working on this game.
No, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I guess you're right. You're saying like they didn't pick that studio because they're like, we're not going to give them Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure.
Or sorry, Indiana Jones, which is like the Star Wars of finding old things and bringing them to museums.
Oh yeah, that's where they belong after all.
Yeah.
Except for the Crystal Skull thing. That belonged in space or fucking whatever.
Yeah, in another dimension. Woo.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That was not fun.
Yep. You've been playing the Cyberpunk 2077?
I have, and yeah, like I told you when we were texting the other day, like I'm lucky because one of my high school friends had a second Series X order because he was probably doing the multiple windows open thing on the launch day.
Yeah.
Which I did, but somehow I think our internet here is just awful. Like I can't wait till I move. I'm gonna get, as much as I hate it, Comcast probably. Yeah. So I have like good speed. And like, yeah, I was just trying. I refreshed. I I had one in the shopping cart at Microsoft.com for like 35 minutes, and I couldn't get it to like go to the next page.
Fuck, that sucks.
I was trying all kinds of shit, and then I just posted about it, just like, it would be nice if they didn't make it hard or something. And then he was like, hey, I got two. Do you want to just take one and pay me back when I get it? And I was like, yes. And so I've been able to play it on my Series X, which honestly, like, I've seen a few bugs here and there, but the game looks amazing. I took it to my mom's house and used their 4K TV one night, and it looks like so good. And I love it because I played The Witcher like sort of to get ready for a CD Projekt Red game because I'd never played one.
Yeah.
And I feel like I understand the way that they make a game. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's more to it, but I'm just saying, like, just like the dialogue and the way you talk to people and the just how to navigate stuff, so it wasn't overwhelming to me. Because like The Witcher was hard to get into. It took me like 12 hours to, like, literally 12 hours for me to actually love that game.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Because it's just like I was like, I don't even want to mess with the potions or the oils. Like, that's crazy.
Don't want to figure that part out. Just
no.
That. Well, I mean, like on the lower difficulties, that didn't matter. But yeah, like Cyberpunk, I felt was like I kind of felt like the opposite. I kind of felt like this was their least.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like they created a game where, to me, it's almost like at odds with what it's trying to be or what it's trying to do.
Yeah, like it's too simple and it needs to be more complicated.
Well, they kind of went out of their way to be like, the future is this horrible dystopian place. And yes, that's true, but it's like, it looks so pretty. Like, why did you do that? Like, it's like, and yes, it's cyberpunk, but it's like, what fucking cyberpunk are you reading? Where's the fog? Like, what are you doing with this?
You're right. It doesn't feel like Blade Runner cyberpunk. It feels like if Sunset Overdrive was cyberpunk.
And like one of the mods for PC adds fog. Like, that's all it does. And I'm kind of tempted just to get that to play with a foggy cyberpunk world. But But like the whole thing of it was like, it was a game where it was like everyone, like it sets up like in the very start of the game, like the big problem with the world of cyberpunk is every human interaction is like transactional in nature. Like, you only talk to people to like get something or acquire something or purchase something, which is why corporations have all the power. And it's why everything's commodified. It's like everything is somehow transactional.
That's kind of how our world is.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with cyberpunk. Is it's like it's our world, but like 20 years from now, and in this case 50 years from now.
Yeah, and there's dildos everywhere.
Everywhere, love it.
Fucking
the best.
There's just like the ads are pretty. I
love the ads. That's my favorite part. I'm like, that should be real. They should the kinds of. I would be down with these kinds of ads. Like, try speed. It's good for you.
Dude, I'm sure in like 5 years we'll start to see just like, I bet the word shit will be
speed.
Like, people will just be saying shit on CNN. You know, like.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I heard CNN was on in the background somewhere recently, and they said shit because they were quoting something that someone had said. Maybe it was Trump. I don't know. And it was just like, wow, they're just not even censoring.
They're just doing it. They're just doing it.
But I mean, for a long time, I've been like, I don't understand why curse words are like. There's just like a bunch of moms in the Midwest somewhere that are upset about curse words, and no one else really cares anymore.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like it's like the Bible Belt, and then everyone else is like, yeah, I fucking say shit, fuck all the fucking time. How many people do you know in your life that are like, oh, don't say that?
Don't curse. No, none of the ones that I regularly interact with.
Yeah.
I don't think.
It's always like a weird person at your job. If you.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't curse. I don't curse with people at work.
Yeah.
I've learned that. I'm like, yeah, you don't get to see me at my funniest. You don't get that one.
Do you? I mean, you're probably working from home right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to see them.
Don't even have to.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's
nice.
I
just log into my computer, chill out for a couple hours, and do stuff, and then I'm just like, I gotta go. And then I swap my monitor to my gaming computer, and then I'm home.
Oh yeah. You just
that's
unplug
my compute.
it.
No, it's I just have a button on my monitor that switches what computer it goes to. I switch it from work computer to gaming computer, and that is my commute.
Yeah, that's nice. Do you think that you'll? Do you think you'll have to go back in and everything when everything's normal?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I don't know for how much of the week I'll have to, but like probably that's the plan.
I wonder how many state agencies are just gonna stop having offices now.
A couple, I'm sure. I mean, like it's like, oh, you didn't really need it to begin with, so
Yeah.
it's like, why still have it? It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to debate at this point. Like, yeah, we don't need to physically go places to do most of the shit we do in this world.
Yeah.
It's like the idea of having to physically go somewhere to do work is very fucking antiquated. It's not a real, like, because that's how it was when there were factories. Like, you literally couldn't do the work of a factory at home.
Yeah. They can't send a giant machine that might suck you into your house.
They can't send you a lathe they hadn't worked all the kinks out of yet.
Yeah.
So that'll chop your hand off to your house. So they had to you had to go to where the lathe was to get your hand cut off, and then they start the triangle fire or whatever. But
the triangle fire? What's that?
It was this. It was the biggest. It was this big fire. It was at a. I want to say it was a cloth factory in New York, but that might be wrong. But it was this fire where they had the doors were locked. Like, they locked the doors to keep the workers in, and there was a fire, and everyone in there died. And it was after that they established, look, if you're going to have people physically coming into work, you got to do some shit to make sure they don't die there.
Yeah.
That's sort of like why we have OSHA and shit like that.
I know. Those people gave their lives so that the government couldn't look away.
They don't come up with rules until someone's dead.
I know.
Typically.
That's like kind of funny to think about sometimes, like how a lot of the stuff we take for granted is because, like, thousands of people died or were oppressed somehow or taken advantage of, or like something awful happened to them, so that we could just like sue somebody.
It's a burden of history.
Oh man. Yeah.
Nothing just happens. It all stems from somewhere.
It's very depressing to think about.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
I wonder what kind of, wonderful cancers are around the corner for us.
Oh man,
things that we've been exposed to and we didn't know.
They're figuring out so much cool stuff every day. Like, every day is a new cancer adventure.
They're figuring out so many cool cancers every day.
Cool stuff.
I don't know what that voice came from, but that's what it sounded like you were doing. But it was good. Yeah. I don't know. I was like, yeah, we can wrap it up, I guess, because it's like an hour.
Yeah, I'm getting exhausted. I just got off work.
Yeah.
Which was my commute of switching monitors, but still.
My wrist hurts.
My wrist hurts.
From
Not
unplugging.
From jerking it. It just hurts in general.
Yeah.
I have carpal tunnel. It's bad.
Yeah. I think it's also just harder to do these on the phone. Like, I'm not a big phone call person as it is, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get you. Like, I'm the opposite. I'm just like, fucking, I get to interact with somebody, and I get to sit in my new my new fancy chair that I got.
Uh-huh. And
if I have to go to the bathroom, I can use my bathroom.
Yeah.
Sign me up. But, am an introvert. That's my unique thing.
Yeah. I've discovered how extroverted I am in this pandemic because.
Yeah, I'm sure people have started discovering that.
I also didn't realize that growing up, I always thought extrovert meant you have a lot of friends and you like to talk to people and be like the center of a party. But extrovert actually means that you get energy from being around people. Yeah. And so that's more my thing. I don't want to be in the middle, except for stand up. I do want the attention when that's going on, but
yeah. But for the most part, it's like, I feel better when I'm around a bunch of people out doing stuff, and it's like, that would be it would be really rough on someone if they know they were an extrovert. I imagine it's rougher for someone who thinks they're an introvert, and then this happens, and they're like, oh fuck, I had it so wrong for so long. Yeah. And now I'm stuck in my house.
I just think about people in New York or San Francisco where it's like a populated city, or even LA, and you're probably living alone because you're trying to save money, so you have like a shitty studio. I mean, I guess if you're saving money, you might have roommates, but
you might have we have social distance, no more than 5 people. It's like, I got an apartment on the Upper East Side. There's 30 of us. We're just slowly transmitting it around each other at this point.
Yeah. That's like the factory workers of today.
Oh,
but they all work at different places.
Yeah, but from the same apartment, using the same fiber optic cable.
Yeah.
They knew what mattered.
We've got Etsy, Google, Facebook. We got Jezebel. We're all on the same fiber optic cable.
Fucking A.
Yeah, so you got JoJo Has Fun. There's a YouTube channel. It's great. You should check it out.
YouTube.com/JoJo Has Fun. We also do a couple of podcasts. One's called Geesebumps, GEESEBUMPS. It's a podcast about R.L. Stein.
So you don't you can also talk about Fear Street and other things like that?
Oh yeah, and we do.
Okay.
And Fear Street sucks.
Are you rereading the books to do that
podcast?
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I got a full collection of Goosebumps books. Which are not very expensive, except for some of them. Weirdly enough, like some Goosebumps books are very pricey.
Wait, so are you buying like old editions? Like you can't find new printings?
There are new printings for some of them, but not all of them. And then the ones that there aren't new printings for are wildly expensive. It's actually kind of wild. Like there were 62 Goosebumps books. The collection I got was $300. Almost half of it was these last 4 Goosebumps books that they never reprinted. It's fucking wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I mean, you have like this artifact now and they're easy to read probably. I bet you can read them in like 2 hours.
In like an hour I can get through a full Goosebump book.
That's awesome.
Which is great, because I used to hold it as a point of pride. Like, I read Goosebumps, I'm like, this is nothing.
Yeah. That's like a weird thing to me about being a kid is like, a worksheet that you used to feel like, oh, I have to write a paragraph.
Yeah, and then it's just like, a paragraph? Shit, I bitch about my workday for more than a page and a half every day. Jeez Louise.
Well, now, like, I could write forever. I mean, like, I'm almost like, put me back in school, man. I'll fucking write an annoying ass.
Back in, coach.
I'll write a 30-page paper about something, and like I can bullshit. I could make up so much like, I mean, the amount of notes I've written for stand up alone, is just, it's crazy. Like every month I have like a new thing. Even now when I can't try stuff out, So, but yeah, and then you also have a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, right?
Yes, I have a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons actual play podcast called The Rolls We Made. And they're both on. Those are both on everywhere that podcasts can be found, as far as I know.
Sick.
Yeah, but those are all my things. Go check them out. They're very entertaining.
Yeah, do it. Maybe I will too, because I have not. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's why I put them up there, so they're there forever.
Yes. Well, I know you probably don't listen to this, so it's okay. I mean, I remember when we all started doing this, it was like, oh, I got to listen to all the local podcasts, and now I'm like, why would I do that?
There's a lot of local podcasts, and they talk about shit a lot of times that I don't care about.
Yeah. Yeah, no offense. I just don't give a shit, no. I mean, Goosebumps is cool. But I think for me, it's like I want to be on the podcast too. So then if I listen to a local one and I haven't been on it, then I'm just like, well, I want to be on it.
That's you networking with your friend podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but follow us at Epic Tiki Comedy on Twitter, at Epic Tiki on Instagram. If you're watching this, you already are on YouTube.com/Epic Tiki Comedy. But if you're just listening on iTunes or Spotify, I should be on more things, but I'm not. Go to youtube.com/Epic Tiki Comedy and subscribe and watch the video version, where you can see both of our faces as we're talking into cameras and not actually looking each other in the eyes.
Fact.
And then you could see all the episodes I did do with people, and where maybe I shouldn't have because COVID. But you know what? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I take a risk, and
Yeah.
What is the reward? I don't really know.
You can't taste anything anymore.
Yeah. Well, so far I've had my taste. Dude, Taylor Evans didn't have taste for 200 days.
That's pretty wild.
Or like he said it's been almost 200 days, which because I think he got it in like the spring. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Wild, wacky stuff. Anyways, Jojo Lewis, thank you for doing the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Or
indeed.
We can keep talking after I stop the camera.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.